go. Hello, hello. What is going on? We are live. Happy 8 p.m. So, long time no see for a couple days. John, good to see you on. Thanks for hopping on. Thanks for just being here, waiting. I hope you're doing well. And let's see, Game Master 921, good to see you on as well. I appreciate you guys just hopping on. Oh, Jer, oh my goodness, we got people on. Goodness. Again, thank you for hopping on. It's been a while. It's been a while, and how do I say this? Ooh, today is one of those days. Oh my goodness, Jonathan Villa, good to see you on. Wow, we got a lot of good people on right now. So, I guess for today's live stream, I want to keep it somewhat shortish, but I also want to make this about you. You know, I want to talk about whatever you want to talk about. So, for anyone who's on right now, feel free to ask questions, anything really. Like, this is an open conversation. I know we have our little topic of today, which is something like life is different outside the world. That's what I titled this. And typically the topic of the day reflects on a thought of the day. So, yes. Before I dive into that, I'll just look at your comments because I see them. Game Master's playing Fortnite. JR says, "How are Richard? Long time no see. How am I doing? Great to see you back on. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been good. So this past weekend, I've been gone because I've been out of training. Let's see what else has been going on. I think. Well, what else? I feel like there's something else going on. Meh. What happened? Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I've been preparing for every single night. I've been preparing for the trainings ever since Wednesday. So it's almost like, what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 days. It's been 5 days since I've been on. Yeah. It's been good. The training this weekend that I went to was a transformational training, which is kind of like an opportunity to kind of shift the way that we look at our lives. And it was a really good refresher. I've already done this training twice, and then I staffed this training this weekend. So I had the opportunity to kind of relearn things that I kind of forgot in a way. And so it's a blessing to be able to experience this, and I think everyone should go through it in some extent. So I want to touch on today's topic, and again, by the way, feel free to drop any questions that you have in the comment section, and let's have conversation. So for today, I think the thought of today was like, I don't know, just thinking about like how drastically life is different outside of our environment that we're in. I was having conversation with my girl, and we're talking about how like when I grew up, when I went to high school, I used to think every single high school was pretty much the same. Like, yes, there's a little bit differences. Like, some areas are a little bit more poor. Some areas are in the middle of nowhere. Some are in the city. Like things like that. And, some schools have more white people, Asian people, like things like that. Okay. So, but I just realized, like, I don't know how to say this. It's like school, as human beings, we share a lot of similarities, but like life is just so different outside of our little bubble. So I grew up in Orange County, in a small little town called Fountain Valley, where I would say it's, in my lens of my life, it's a very, I grew up in a middle class neighborhood. It's not like I grew up thinking that I was rich. I definitely did not think that. In fact, it was kind of the opposite. I always felt like my family was struggling. We had a hard time financially, and it's funny that that always used to be my story, because I would always see my mom. I'd always see her struggling, and save money, save money, save money, and throughout my childhood, I never realized that I was middle class. Which, when I say middle class, it's like I never realized that I had it better than whatever you want to say, at least 95% of the world, if not more. Because in my eyes, I compared myself with my environment, and people in my environment. I had my rich friend who, like he had all the toys, he had everything like that, and yeah, like I felt like I was average slash, yeah, I was just average. That's it, like income wise. So, and then last week I had the opportunity to speak at a school in Los Angeles, in the more like lower income area, and then like that definitely opened up my eyes. It made me realize like, huh, wow, like people are actually different, Like I remember thinking, so I'm thinking back at my high school graduation rate. My high school graduation rate, I don't know the exact percentage, but it's definitely above 90%. It's probably somewhere like 92 to 95% graduation rate, meaning only what five at most 8% of people do not graduate. And um, like just thinking about that, like I thought that was normal. I'm like in my mind, I'm like, how do you not graduate? I don't understand. And not to say like this is my old self thinking, like how do people not graduate? Like it's really simple. You just do your homework and you just graduate. Like that's it. Of course we all have problems, things like that, but like as long as you put in the work, you should be able to graduate. So that was always my mindset. And then I realized like there's other schools where graduation rate is literally, I don't know, it's below 50%. It's like 30%, something like that. The school I went to, we had eighth graders reading at a third to fourth grade level, like a big chunk of the students reading 4 to 5 grade levels below where they should be. And for me, like that just makes me realize it's like, I guess in a way it makes me appreciate that I was fortunate to grow up in this environment that I did. And we don't control the life that we were given. We don't control the environment we were raised or born into. It just comes to us. So yeah, that's a little bit of a thought there. Yeah. I see your comments. I'll read them in just a second. Let's see. So, let's see. Today I spoke at another high school, El Toro High School, which is also located in Orange County. A very, I would say, a pretty middle upper class neighborhood. And for me, I don't know, just like people in this area, in like the Southern California area or Southern Orange County area, have like, we have more resources. It's like we have so many more resources than most schools get. And for me, like whenever I compare to all the other neighboring schools, it's like, oh, this is normal. But no, it's not. Like not every school has the resources that we do. And I guess in a way, I'm just throwing this out there to see, like, I don't know, what are your thoughts? How do you feel about the school that you're going to right now? Do you feel Johnson Middle School, Movell High School, like whatever school you're going to right now, do you feel like you have a lot of resources? I'm curious. I know some of you are on here. We got a lot of Johnson Middle School. We got a Movell High School in here, and some other ones as well. Yeah. So, yeah, it's weird. It's like growing up, we don't have this perspective, but like the fact that I have a privilege of, because when I speak at different schools, I have the privilege to travel around to different schools and see the differences, to see like, what are these students struggling with? What are these students struggling with? And I guess in a way, this YouTube Live right now is it's a community, it's a platform where we could all kind of come together and share our differences. What is life like for us? And I don't know, sometimes we just feel like our lives are just normal, it's whatever you want to say. It's boring, it's typical for many of us. But I feel like once we start opening up conversations about like, what are the differences? Then we start to see, oh wow, like we all truly live different lives, Similar because we're humans, but also different based off our environment. All right, so Jared says, let's see. Thoughts on going to the gym? Will you ever go or not? let's see. Thoughts on going to the gym? I think going to the gym is good. I think having a regular exercise schedule is a great thing on many different levels. Um, let's see. Let's see. So, going to the gym to me is a, how do I say this? It is a good thought to think about. So, currently, I go to the gym, I'm going to say 1.5 times a week, which is not as much as I want to. So I was on a commitment before where I was going at least, 4.5 hours a week, closer to five. I'd say 5 to 6 hours. I was exercising 5 to 6 hours a week. Right now, well, whatever. I'm playing basketball, which takes up a lot of time. Right now, my goal is four times a week, but I feel like really it's like I'm going like 2 times a week playing basketball, maybe 3 hours at a time. So anyway, I would like to go to the gym more, and I think exercise is an important piece of our important piece of just like building or keeping up that confidence and happiness and joy within us, like that physical activity. So that's my thought on that. Healthy eating is obviously important as well. Um, yeah, and I'm going to be transparent and open right now. Like for my diet, I go in these waves. Like there's moments where uh, I'm like really heavily committed. Like I create a plan and I stick with it, and like that's when I lost 20 pounds in 1.5 months. But then for the past, what, I want to say almost the past 3 weeks, I have not been exercising as much and I haven't been eating as clean. So for me, it's a conversation I'm continuing to work through. Like how do I create something that's more stable in a way? Because when I was working out, I was working out every single day. It became a habit. It became this normal thing. So, yeah, something I gotta look at myself too. Anyway, of course, thoughts on gym and eating healthy. Of course, I think it helps build up our self esteem. It helps us feel good about ourselves. And I don't just mean that from just because I'm saying it, but rather from experience. And the question in my mind right now, which is this is more of a BS conversation that I'm having, which is like one thing that I currently don't want to give up in this moment is that luxury of having good tasting food, So, and the comfort of just being able to eat whatever I want whenever I want. So that's a conversation I got to have with myself. And I think the question that I got to ask myself really is like, how do I live in alignment with my vision? What is my vision? And man, I'm now thinking, just you made me think out loud, Jer. So thanks. My thought right now is my vision is to have a healthy body, whatever, lean, six pack, muscles, but on top of that, just healthy. Where I used to I've always chronically had dandruff, like just nonstop. I've tried 20 different shampoos and medicated shampoos, but I still have it. So I think diet plays a part to it. So yeah, it's yeah. I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't want to keep telling you stories, so I'll stop there. Um, Goodness, Jacinta. Sorry, I know. Hello again, and please forgive me for butchering your name. I hope I hit it. I feel like I got it last time or something. Who knows? Melissa says, I believe I do have resources to get help in certain areas in our lives in my high school, but the people struggling doesn't try or has a blockage that doesn't try to fix it or don't even know about it. Hold on, let me see this again. I believe I have resources to get help in certain areas in our lives in my high school, but people struggling doesn't try or they have a block that doesn't try to fix it or don't even know about it. So, Melissa, what I'm hearing you say is that there are resources at your high school, for people struggling in many different areas. For example, I'm guessing something like, I'm guessing what you mean is like, there's, for example, for example, there's like tutoring, for students who need it. There's a career center for people who need it. There is a college counselor for people who need it. But the thing is, people who are struggling don't know about the resources available. Am I hearing you correctly? That's what I'm getting at, or that's what I'm hearing you say. Um, if that's the case, I can relate with that because I feel like it was kind of the same thing at my high school. Like as a student, many times we just live life, doing the same thing over and over. Like if there's a problem, I don't know how to say it, we try to fix it ourselves. We sometimes we Google it, which is a perfectly valid way to do it. And sometimes we just leave the problem there and we don't fully address the problem. And I would say the same thing with using our resources. Like, for example, let's talk about colleges, going to college. Like when I was in high school, I didn't know why I was supposed to go to college, And I think if I don't want to say if I really cared enough to ask, like, because I cared, I just was confused, like going back, I wish I would have asked my career or my college counselor, like, hey, what exactly is the purpose of going to college? Like, do I need to go? Just like ask questions, like really understand why am I doing what I'm doing? Because when I was a kid, when I was in high school, I didn't have a reason why I did what I did. I just did it because I was told to do it. My parents said you got to go to college, so I went to college. My parents said go get a job, so I got a job. So that's pretty much how I lived my life growing up, was just listening to what other people wanted me to do and just doing it. That's it. So yeah, now it's like, that's not my life anymore. Right now my life is more like do what I feel is right, do what makes me happy type of thing. So yeah. Yes. So that's what I got right there. All right, so I want to create this conversation around you. People who are on John, and Jer, and I won't say Jacinta just because we have all the J's in the house, and Jame Master. We got a lot of J's in this room right now, and Melissa, Jalissa. All right, so and Jichard, that's me. Okay, so. My question right now, I like you to think about, is, how is where you live, how's where you live, how does that give you a unique advantage in your life? By the way, like wherever we live, it doesn't matter where we live. I think there's always a distinct advantage that we all have. Do some areas have more advantages than other people? I think that's debatable. It's very subjective. Yes and no, but possibly. So I'd like to hear that. Like, what do you think the advantages you have growing up in your neighborhood? Like, what kind of life skills might that give you? I'm just curious. Yeah. So, I mean, for me, I'm not like proud or impressed by the answer. I just feel like it is what it is. Like growing up in Orange County in this sheltered, privileged area, it feels weird saying that, but I think for me, the advantage I have in a way is coming from a place with a solid educational foundation, meaning like the schools I went to, for elementary, middle school, high school, were all very competitive. And wow, weird. Like, I used to think I was a failure at my school because I was ranked number 250 out of 750, unlike my brother and sister who were top 10. Like they did really, really well. So for me, it's like I used to have this mindset that I was going to fail college because I sucked at high school and middle school and everything like that. But then for some of you who've been to my presentation, I talk about how like in college, I used to get I used to get straight A's. Like in college, I only got straight A's. 2 out of the 4 years. So half of my college, I got all straight A's. The other half, I got A's and B's. So I did really well, surprisingly. And I noticed a lot of my college, my hallmates, as well as like my friends. I felt like a lot of them were struggling, especially in the first year. Like I remember they're like, "Oh my goodness, college is so hard." Like it's like the hardest thing I've ever faced. It's like so much harder than high school. And for me, I'm like, that's weird. Like I feel like it's like the exact opposite for me. I feel like for college for me, it was a lot easier than high school. Like high school was a huge struggle for me. I couldn't get good grades, and I didn't know how. Like I kept trying and trying and trying. I couldn't get it. Yeah, university for some reason seemed a little bit easier for me, but I was still a little hesitant. I was scared. I was like, is this really easy, or like what's going on? Like am I getting lucky? Like I had all those doubts and questions in my mind. Let's see. Anyway, going back to kind of like what are the advantages that our area, our neighborhood that we grew up in, what kind of advantages can we get from that? And for me, from an academic perspective, it's like when I went to college, even though I didn't get top 10 like my brother and sister, for me, it made going to college probably a little bit easier compared to other people. But anyway, so that's that. Yeah. Cool. Y'all are quiet tonight, which is a-okay. What else is going on? So, for all you quiet people here, all right, King Boy YouTube says, how long did you go to college? I went to college for 4 years. I went to a 4-year university. So UC, the University of California, Riverside. That's where I went to. UCR, in Southern California. Michaela, good to see you on. Thanks for hopping on, saying hello. Appreciate it. Yeah. Feel free to ask any questions that you have. Anything, really. It's open forum. King Boy says, is it worth for 4 years or 2? So here, goodness. All right, let's get into this question. Again, this is all just opinion. Like none of this is fact or anything like that. This is all just my own personal opinion. Okay. So let's see. Kitty and Makaya. Good to see you. And let's see. I'm doing fairly decent. Good. Yeah, I'm doing good. We can dive deeper into it, but I'm doing good in general. All right. So real quick, going back to King Boy's question. Is it worth it to go 4 years or 2 years? This is one of those, like, it's so debatable. Like, how do I'm trying to give like a very, I don't want to say PC or like politically correct answer. I'm trying to give like almost like an objective answer. And okay, the answer that's off the top of my head is like, it's whatever you want. It depends. You gotta do your best to understand yourself. Like, where are you at with your life right now? Do you know what you want to do with your life? Do you know what you want to do career-wise? Do you know you want to become like an accountant, engineer, a doctor, whatever, things like that? If you know what you want to do, then ask people, figure out what's the best kind of degree for that. So that's one. Let's say you don't really know what you want to do. Hold on. Let's say you want to, I want to stick on the first one. Let's say you know what you want to do, like an accountant or something like that, and they recommend, people are recommending, hey, look, right now the field's really competitive. If you get a 4-year degree, that's going to really stand out, and it's really, really important. You're going to learn a lot. Then go for it. One thing that I think a lot of students are doing right now is, like, people are being told, hey, college is good for you. Go to college. And I don't think that's the right approach. Like, I think in general, as a whole entire society, higher education helps. You know, so like if high schools are and middle schools are like, hey, go to college, go to college, go to college. I think that supports our society as a whole. But if I'm talking about you as an individual, like really think about what is your bigger purpose of going to college. You know, like let's say each year of college will cost you, I don't know the exact number, but let's say I'm gonna go with like, I'm just gonna say, just to make it I'm gonna go with I don't know how much it costs, 20,000. Okay, let's go more conservative, $10,000. That's, I think that's pretty conservative. So let's say each year of college in general will cost you $10,000. Okay, which it's more expensive than that. But unless you go to community college, I don't know the numbers. Don't quote me. So like I don't know. It's like if you're gonna go to college, know a reason why you're going. You know, in my opinion, especially in our day and age, like don't just go to college for the sake of going to college because you know your parents were telling you to go to college. That's what I did. Was it a waste of time? Yes and no. Do I regret going? No, I don't regret going. It's just if I were to go back in time, it's weird. It's like I'm glad I went for the dorm experience. You know, I'm glad I went for the leadership opportunities. That was great. That was fun. You know, and it's something that I'm glad I could relate with people. But if I were to go back in time, you know, 4 years ago, or sorry, before I started university, would I go to school? For me personally, knowing the line of work I want to do, I would probably say no. You know, I just going to classes that were meh, you know, they're so general, like it just, I don't feel like there was that much value in it. I would rather enroll in a specialized school, uh, like a very specific kind of school. You know, I would rather, yeah. Okay, hold on. I want to add to this real quick. So, for a person like me, like I'm a kind of person who's like, you know, up until now, I've never considered myself a super disciplined person, especially when it comes to learning academically. Like, I don't like classes. I don't. You know, it's not my thing. So, let's say I wanted to become a motivational speaker, which is what I'm doing right now. Um, why do I want to go to school for something that's like a random degree, you know, and do all these general ed classes? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, I would rather go to a school that's going to teach me how to become a motivational speaker or whatever, a life coach, a psychologist, you know, counselor, something like that. That's what I have. Yeah. So 2 years or 4 years to answer that question, it's up to you. It's up to what are your life goals. If you don't know what you want to do with your life, sometimes if you got scholarships and grants and financial aid, sometimes getting a degree that's low cost slash free is kind of a cool way to go because it gives you time to figure things out while letting financial aid cover that, and at least you're learning something along the way, something. Um, yeah, that's my thoughts. And then I got friends who are, you know, they drop out of school. And these friends are more the entrepreneur minded. They're like, you know what? I don't want to go to school anymore because it's a waste of money. I would rather be making money because I have a vision and I have a plan on how I want to make money. And yeah. So, but if you're planning to drop out of school because you don't feel like doing it and you don't have any other plans, figure out something. Do something. Doing something is better than doing nothing, is what I gotta say. Like, I would rather you go to school. If you don't know what you're doing, I'd rather you go to school and, you know, figure out there than be at home and do nothing unless you're planning to push yourself and moving forward. Because a lot of people get stuck at home and they end up living lives that they just are not very happy, you know? They're just there. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see here. Let's see. Kitty, I see you. Doing horrible lately. Well, hope you feel better. Paris, good to see you on. Thanks for hopping on. Kitty says, do you know how to heal a sore shoulder? That would really help. My I'm gonna refer you to my best friend Google with that one. I'm not too sure about that. Probably Rust, Rust and water in general is probably some good things. Uh, Maybe a little bit stretching too. I would just Google it, or go to the doctor. Let's see. Makaya's, do you or did you like college? In general, okay. So my answer is yes. I like college, and the reason why I like college was mostly for a mix of socializing and also just being involved with leadership. Like those were my things. Like my highlights of college were being involved with the residence halls. It was or dorms, whatever you want to call them. It was being an RA, resident advisor. It was being the president of the residence hall. Like that, those kind of things really fired me up. Like I just love it. And what was cool for me is I got free room and board with my leadership positions. You know, it was or job, whatever you want to call it. So it was a total win-win for me. Classes, the class part of college for me, I could kind of care less. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but it was not my cup of tea. You know, like yeah, that's it. Now, did I learn things in class? Yes, some classes I learned things, but to be honest, if I'm being completely blunt, most of my classes at UC Riverside, and I feel like just general colleges in general, are meh. They're so general, you know. Like, so if you want to learn something specific, go to a specific college that's focused on that topic, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know. I am personally not a big fan of general education. If you want to learn something, go to a very specific technical college. That's my opinion. If you generally want to learn something, but if you just want a degree from a reputable college, then go to a typical UC, you know, University of California blank or whatever it is. Yeah, my thing is just do yeah, I don't know, just go to a school that you're passionate about and you think you're going to enjoy. If you feel like you're going to enjoy it, then awesome. You know, whatever lights you up, whatever makes you feel good. That's what I got. All right. Jacinta says, I'm pretty unhappy about my job right now, but I don't really know what else to do. I turn up every day at office only because of the pay. What do I do? So, Jacinta, my thought and opinion on that. First of all, thanks for sharing and thanks for opening up. I've been there. I'm Something tells me you probably know that already. So, for people who don't know, I quit my job, my corporate job, because I just was not passionate about it. I was there for a paycheck, and yeah, like that's it. I was told to work, so that's what I did, and I showed up every single day, mostly for the paycheck. And yes, I did want to get a promotion, possibly to move up and get paid more and maybe do something more influential. But at the end of the day, it's like my advice in general is like, Jacinta, I don't know if you know what you're passionate about, like what you want to do. If you have something that you're passionate about, like my thing is, my like straightforward thought is, life is too short to not be doing what you love. So if you have a passion, my thing is like, number one, take care of your bills, pay off your bills, do what you got to do. Number two is kind of like start creating that plan to career transition, to move from whatever is paying your bills but you're not passionate about to whatever you're passionate about. Or you could do a little bit of both. Like, let's say, a great suggestion in general that I hear and I agree with is like, keep your day job, work, earn your money, and then on your off time, start building up your passion. So that's that. And let's say you don't know what your passion is. For anyone who doesn't know what their passion is, I would just say, number one, keep paying the bills, keep your job, and then on your side time, whenever any kind of free time you have, during lunch breaks, after work, before work, during work, my thing is like, start brainstorming. What are things that might excite you? And sometimes it doesn't even have to be something that makes money. Just think about things that will bring you joy. For example, one thing I made a commitment to doing was joining a triathlon. That happened in the middle of work, so that was a cool thing that got me inspired and thinking about life again. So that's what I have. All right. Yeah, feel free to ask me any more questions, Jacinta, about that. Okay. So yeah, I love to support in whatever way I can. Kitty, how do you know if you have stress? You feel if you feel anxious. Let's see. Yeah, if you feel anxious, that's a sign of stress. Like that anxiety, like if your heart feels heavy, that usually means you're stressed and like there's something that's bothering you. So, yeah. Melissa says growing up with surroundings as for me was my parents and somehow my friends, which I now notice are toxic friends, and I'm currently getting away, and it's very hard. Anyways, hold on 1 second. Anyways, I always, in denial, enjoyed and still cherish the young, reckless, fun teen, and really, they were the only people I hung out with. So when I lost it, and I know, and now I feel even sad and blah when talking. All right. All right. Oh, blah. When talking to them now, it doesn't feel right, and that did affect and influence me. Talking to people in my school as random and having. Let's see. Fun and being open is me, and yes. In general, communication with others is a big and huge influence. So the rejection, even though I know they aren't the right people for me, affected me. And hey, that is one of my weaknesses. Eek! And yes, I'm trying to get back and meet new friends. Awesome. Good to hear that you're on track to meeting new friends again, Melissa. Okay. Kitty says, maybe my hormones are why I have been feeling bad. Possibly. Yeah, that could be a thing. Kitty says, hey, I hate the environment I am in. What do I do? Let's see. My family already planned my future. Get scholarship, go to college, get a stable job, or marry a rich man. I enjoy traveling in other cultures. Any career any career for that. Sorry, hard typos. Okay, so if you hate the environment that you're in right now, look, especially when we're younger, like there's only so much we can do. But I don't want to say that in a way that's like hopeless. There are things you can do, which is great. There's things you can do and there's things you can't do. Like for example, well, I mean, technically you could go run away and stuff, but I'm not recommending that. You know, so if you're young, if you're living with, you know, guardians, parents, whatever you want to call them, there's sometimes where you gotta listen to the house rules, right? That's number one. But for what you can control, if you don't like the environment you're in, then make it your intention to take time and spend time away from your environment. That's pretty much it. Another thing is you're talking about how your family already planned your future. You know, get a scholarship, go to college, get a stable job, or marry a rich man. Like, I get it. You know, my parents were the same. My parents planned my future too, in a way. So they're like, you know, go to college, get a stable job, and you know, raise a family. Except they weren't like, you have to do this, you have to do this. But it was kind of very kind of implied, like, you get to do this, you got to do it. Like, you know, this is what you have to do, in a way. It was like guilt trip in a way. It wasn't like, I'm going to kill you if you don't do this, but it was still like guilt tripping. Like you should be, this is what you should be doing, Richard. You know, you will be a disappointment if you don't do this. Anyway, so sometimes, at least for myself, my opinion, you know, again, this is my life, my opinion. You get to choose whatever rules you want to choose for your life. For me, it's like, I realize that I don't want, like, we all get to live our own lives, and we can't let other people dictate our whole entire life, you know? I always preach, like, respect, you know, respect our parents, respect other people, and at the same time, respect yourself too. You know, your parents aren't always right. You know, sorry, parents. And sometimes it's like, find that balance. It's like, hey, look, you know, mom, dad, I respect you. I know that's your opinion. Like, generally I do. And I have my own kind of desires, wishes, things like that. And it's tough. It's tough balancing that, because sometimes your values and your parents' values are not going to align. You know, it's just what it is. So, finding that right space. And sometimes it takes risk. Sometimes it takes challenging our parents. Yeah, so again, do it at your own discretion. Have conversations with your parents. You know, sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes they're going to argue with you, or you're going to, you know, have arguments with each other. It is what it is. You know, it's the same thing happened to me. My parents did not want me to quit my job to start up a YouTube channel and motivational speak, because they didn't they wanted me to get a stable job. They wanted me to make money. So, but I'm happy. You know, I'm happy, and over time they've learned to accept this as my path. That's what I got. All right. King Boy says the thing that's holding me back is gaming because my mom says that life is moving on while I'm stuck on my Xbox. But I love gaming though because I wanted to be a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer. Cool. So I think for me, the one thing I love about gaming right now, like in this generation right now, like in this moment in 2018, what I love about gaming is it's such a great disruption to like culture or like to the generations, because the thing is the older generation, many of it, like they're all about like, you know, focus on getting a job, you know, gaming is a waste of time, things like that. I think that's like that's kind of part of the older culture. You know, my parents were part of that culture where gaming was a waste of time, you know, no life, play games, things like that. So that's how I grew up. That's my parents' beliefs. And what I kind of like about the gaming, what I like about the gaming culture, or like the fact that it's part of our culture today, it's like, to me, it's like, it's almost like the new culture, you know, the new generation, all of you, all of us, whatever you want to say, saying like, hey, look, things are changing. You know, it's the way people live today is different, and you know, parents get to adapt to it. It is what it is. You know. Do parents like gaming? Most parents don't like gaming. You know, they think it's whatever, a waste of time. It doesn't not games do not make parenting easier. You know, it makes it difficult in my opinion, because it's like as a parent you're like, oh no, I don't want my kid to be playing so many games. You know, they need to be going out there and you know, getting a job or socializing or you know, focusing in school, things like that. So yeah, it's a challenge. And yeah, I don't know, like King Boy, my thought to you, you know, if you were my son, what I would say, like how I would be a proud mom in some way, is like if you could show that you did, you know, you were getting good grades, you know, that you were being responsible for your life. If you were getting whatever good grades, whatever that means, maybe it's straight A's or B's or whatever it is, getting good grades, you know, kind of respecting general house rules. As long as you're doing that for me, like, and you know, you play games, and let's say you argue like, hey, look, mom, you know, I'm getting straight A's just like you want me to. You know, I'm doing what you want me to do, and I know you don't want me playing games right now, but look at my results. You know, I'm doing what you said. You know, I'm studying hard in school, and that's what I'm doing. So, you know, I believe I deserve the opportunity to play games now. Like I think that's like ultimate respect. But also respecting your parents and respecting yourself. You know what you want. It's like it's a win-win. It's helping both sides in a way, and it helps you too because it makes you feel good that you get to do what you love and get grades at the same time. You're making straight A's. So my question is like, what is your parents' challenge to you? You know, like why are they? What else do they want from you? You know, if you're getting straight A's, like what else do they want from you? Ask them. Ask them like, hey, look, hey, mom, you know, I'm really into playing video games right now. That's what my friends do, and it's how I hang out. It's how I relax. What else would you want me to do? You know, I'm getting straight A's. What else? And have the conversation. That's what I would do. Yeah, I don't know. It's like how much can your parents expect of you? Anyway, yeah. And another part of me is like, again, these are just opinions. Don't take these as facts. But I think part of life is knowing when to be flexible and stand up for what we believe in. I think that's really important. We can't, in my opinion, we can't always let everyone dictate our lives in a way. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. Kitty says, I enjoy traveling in other cultures. Any careers in that? Yeah, there's plenty of careers in that. It just depends what you want to do in that way. I mean, off the bat, it's like travel. You know, I hear the tourism industry is not a great place to be, but There's one right there. There's as a speaker, as workshop host, you get to travel there. As the airline industries, that's another way to travel. What else is there? I'm sure there's lots that I'm missing out here. Uh, there are a lot. There's a lot of businesses, a lot of like corporate businesses that they make deals across the world and stuff like that. So that's other travel and business opportunities, but that's not as fun as what you're talking about. So yeah, you could teach English in a different country. That's another thing a lot of people do. A lot of Americans will teach English in Japan. Yeah, that's a really common thing to do. So those are a few. Alrighty, how do I get away from my environment? How do you get away from your environment? Just it's about taking time to like just whatever it is, get out of the house and take responsible time for yourself. Like just go out there whenever you can. Yeah, do whatever you like. Do whatever you like to do, Kitty. Like that's how you kind of get away from your environment. Like if you like going for hikes, go for hikes. Whatever. Be safe. Be safe. Jacinta says, "Thank you, Richard. The thing is, I don't know whether I would be successful if I follow my passion. It's a competitive world out there." Okay. So, it's a competitive world out here, and I don't know. Like this is one of those like this is a fork in the road that we get to make a decision. It's like, how do we want to live our lives? Do we want to live our life doing something that we are not passionate about? For the rest of your life, do you? If you choose that, choose it and don't complain about it. If you choose I want to call it, not to put it down, but like the mediocre life, the average life, the easier route. If that's your choice, choose it, and I would almost say embrace that decision. But if you know that's not what you want to do, then part of it is like if you have a passion, even if it's competitive, but you want to do it, let's say you got a passion. Let's say, I don't know, are you willing to dive into your passion even if it's difficult, even if you might fail? Is that still going to bring you joy? The pursuit, that thought of like, what, at least I tried to do my passion. Like, is that going to spark joy? Because for me as a motivational speaker, it's like, I know for myself that whether or not I succeed, become successful as a motivational speaker, I'm happy that I made the choice to at least try. And that's it. It's like, I don't know, like from my perspective, I can't speak for you, but from my perspective, it's like, there's a part of me, at least I'm surprised. Like, I've always doubted myself. I've always been that person who's kind of like given up and not believed in myself. But there is a part of me that's like, I'm passionate enough about doing, being a motivational speaker or inspirational speaker, making these YouTube videos, whatever it is, living this life that I'm living right now. I'm passionate enough that it's like, even when times get tough, even when, speaking gigs don't come in, even when I complain and I don't want to book speaking gigs, I'm tired, I'm tired of getting rejected, blah, blah, blah. Even when all these things happen, I still will keep, like, I'll complain a little bit, but then I'll get back up and I'll keep going. So that's my mentality. It's like, sure, it's tough. Sure, there's times where I struggle, but I'm going to keep pushing forward. So, yeah. Now, I don't know, every single life is unique. Every single life is different. Like for you, you probably have more responsibilities than me. I don't know where you are with your life right now. I don't know if you have children, if you have a mortgage to pay. I don't know what it is, but it's like, yeah, for me, if it were up to me, I would figure out a way to go towards my passion, because it's like, again, the big quote for me is like, 20 years, here, I want to look at the quote. 20 years from now, quote. All right. So the quote is, hold on, I want to see the full quote. Let's do this. All right, the quote is 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than by the ones you did do. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. Awfully misquoted by Mark Twain. I don't know. I actually did research on this quote to figure out where it came from, and I don't know where it came from officially. But here, I'm just going to copy and paste that so you could all see that right there. There you go. I just copied and pasted that quote. All right. So 20 years from now, this is the one quote that got me started with the whole motivational speaking, because I started thinking like, Richard, imagine, so I was like 23 at the time. Imagine, I told myself, imagine you're 43 years old and you look back at your life when you're 23. Would you have been disappointed that you stayed in your job or whatever, kept working corporate, and you did not pursue your passion? And I thought to myself, I'm like, yeah, I would have regretted it so much. I'd be so disappointed in myself. And in that moment, I'm like, okay, this is scary. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to quit my job. I'm just going to do this thing. I don't know. I suck at business. You know, I don't know what I'm doing, but I know I want to do it. So I did it, you know? And it's messy. Like, being an entrepreneur is messy. Like, it's still, I've been doing this for 4 years. It's still messy. It's still all over the place. It's not perfect. I'm still trying to figure it out. I feel like a baby, you know, like a baby in this industry. And I'm 4 years in, you know, it's okay. You know, it's part of the journey. Make it fun. Enjoy the process. So that's what I got. Dweeb Weeb, good to see you on. Justin Friend, good to see you on. And by the way, I did not miss your comments, peoples, or at least I don't think I did. I'm reading them in order, but I just see little bits and pieces. King Boy, you're welcome for the advice for sure. All right, I'm going to go back to wherever we left off on these comments. All right. Okay, let me see. Hold on. Okay. What? Why is this held for review? Okay. Kitty says, my dad is laid back while my mom is like an Asian inside of a white mom body. My dad don't care. He just want me happy, but I want to make my whole family happy. Go to feel more alive. I feel like a zombie going through the same thing every day. I feel like there's no excitement in my life. Let's see. Thoughts. Kitty, my thoughts would be, I'm trying to figure out what's a good, you know what, my suggestion for you, Kitty, is, I don't know if you're up for this, but my recommendation is to do some work, like personal development, like dive into personal development. Yeah, do some reading and videos and stuff. One second, I gotta ask a quick question. Christine, can I ask you a question? Yeah. I'm live right now. Oh. What's a good book recommendation?
Yeah, you got asked the right person.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's a good book recommendation for people who are, I don't know, just like stuck in life, and like, what's a good one? Like they just feel, I don't know.
The Alchemist, start from there.
The Alchemist?
Paulo Coelho?
Yeah.
That is a more like, it gets your spirits back up.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to planning your life, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Okay.
Start from there.
Nice. Thank you.
Those two.
All right, so book recommendations from the expert herself, Christine. First one is The Alchemist. So Kitty, if you want to work on life, getting that, this applies to anyone, Kitty and anyone else. The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Hold on, let me make sure I got that right. Coelho. There we go. Oh, whoops, I misspelled it, but that's okay. So that's book recommendation number 1, and the second one is the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by.
Oh my God, Covey, yeah.
Covey, Stephen Covey. Stephen Covey. All right. So those are two. Um, yeah, I think there's a wealth of knowledge in books. You know, like sometimes if we feel stuck, reading is a really good place to start. Even if we're not much reader, like we don't like reading, it's like I think pushing ourselves to do it will help us shift our state of mind. So that's my recommendation. And if you're not much of a physical reader like myself, try audiobooks. Audiobooks are great. Yeah, that's my recommendation to you. Like it's books can really change lives, and you know I know a lot of time. A lot of people's lives have been changed by reading books. So those are two: The Alchemist and Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. All right, so go with those. And I'm actually a little bit inspired to read them myself as well. So I might actually reread The Alchemist. It's been a while since it's been over a year since I read it. But yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Jacinta says, but I feel good that you are happy and glowing, following your path in life, not worried about being in a rat race. Thank you, I appreciate that. And I'll be honest, when I think about like my life, yes, I'm very grateful and happy and all that stuff that I'm on my speaking journey. And you know, the truth of the matter is like there is a part of me that wish I don't want to say I wish. Life can be better. You know, I still have my challenges every single day. You know, I'm super grateful. You know, but I have moments where I feel really like power. I'm like, dude, today's such a great day. I love it. And then like earlier today felt like a great day. And then later on towards the evening, I'm like, oh my goodness, like, you know, I felt heavier. So I have those moments too. I'm a human being. I still make excuses, you know, so things that I'm working through myself as well. Yeah, I feel like reading is going to be supportive with that. You know, changing that mindset. I think a lot of it is changing our mindset. That's such a big thing. So, yeah, sometimes we get complacent. I get complacent myself too. So, yeah, let's keep pushing forward. You know, let's read books. Let's shift the way our mind thinks. I think that's so important. Sometimes I get lazy too. Okay. Alrighty, let's see here. Jonathan Rokenya says, hey, Rokenya. I feel like it's Rokenya. Hey, how are you doing tonight, man? Really like your videos. Hope to see more. Jonathan Rokenya, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm doing pretty good. You know, I was a little like, oh man, live. I don't know what to talk about. And now I feel a little bit better. You know, I feel connected. I'm so super grateful for your engagement and your questions that you're asking, and your comments as well, such as you, Jonathan. You know, it makes it better. You know, when I'm talking here by myself, when people aren't engaging, I'm just like, let's go. Like, are people listening? What am I doing here? All right. Chloe says, Richard, I'm still having nightmares. What should I do? I can't enjoy sleeping. Did you Google search it? Google search about nightmares. I honestly don't know much about it. So just Google search like how to have fewer nightmares. Like seriously, just Google it. Like there's so many resources out there. I wish I had more thoughts on it, but just read up on it. Educate yourself. That's the way to go. All right. Alrighty. All right, NJ Grant, good to see you on. Long time no see, for sure. And yeah, thanks again for being on. Like it's so good to see you. Let me see. Jesse from the mentor Lennox. Oh, Jesse, what? Good to see you on. Goodness. Oh shoot, we got Jesse and we got Sean. Let's see. Sorry for not being on or texting him because I've been sick lately. That's okay, Sean. Hope you feel better. Jesse, again, good to see you on. It's so cool to see people from the mentor. Like, that's awesome. Alrighty. Jesse, do I remember you? Please forgive me. We got to reconnect more. We got to connect more. Okay, so that's my thought right there. I remember. I have like that vague like. I remember we hung out at the very end of the day. I remember that we're sitting at the table, but like I'm not good with like the faces and things like that. So sorry about that. But we'll have to reconnect in April when I see you. Okay. Let's see. Kitty says you and Christine can call me Nancy. That's all right. What? I'm confused. Don't call you by your real name. I thought you were okay with that. If not, then that's okay. Please forgive me for that. Don't? Do not? That's okay. Okay. Wait, no? Okay. That's okay, I won't. Let's see, Dewey says, I kind of recommend watching or listening to something relaxing like some white noise or some old art. Nice, I like that. Ooh, I like that. Let's see. Kitty says, Kitty, Dweeby was making a suggestion. Like if you're having nightmares and things like that, his recommendation is to listen to something relaxing, like white noise or old art. Interesting thing about the old art. Try meditating. Try using Headspace. It's the iPhone app. You know, it's a meditation app. So Headspace is a good one that a lot of people use. Just try it out. You know, maybe it'll help you calm down and relax before bedtime. So another thing that I hear is before bed, like don't use any electronics. Like 30 minutes before bed, like it disrupts our brain waves and things like that. So, and another thing is 30 minutes before bed, start to like dim the lights. Don't use heavy lights because that throws off our sleep cycle as well. So these are just basic sleep hygiene tips. Yeah. There's an app that I've seen my friend use before. It's an iPhone app, and just search on your app store for like I don't know what it's called. It's like peaceful sounds or soothing sounds or white noise. Like just search for it. There's an app, and what's cool about the app is you can customize the sounds. It's kind of cool. You can play around with it. Like you can make ocean sounds plus chimes or ocean sounds plus birds. You know, like or I don't know. It's like water stream or rain. You know, like you can change the sounds based off whatever you feel like doing. So that's one thing. Okay. Sweet. Sean says on April, when you guys come to Lennox, I'm going to be in your group. All you got to do is pick me, then get your group. Awesome. I typically am not the one like requesting groups, so request the groups. I love Sean. It would be awesome to see you again for sure. Yeah. All right. I will keep that in mind. Okay. Dweeby says, by old art, I mean masterpieces that doesn't use super bright color. Huh. What kind of art do you mean? Are we talking about like paintings? Are we talking about music? Like classical music? Like what kind of art? I'm curious. Pick Jesse and me, and then you'll get the rest of the group. Painting art. Okay, awesome. Sweet. I would love to. All right, sounds good. I usually don't do the picking. You know, usually they like throw me out there, and then like a Jetty or someone else will pick who's in the groups. But yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, Jesse, I'm looking forward to reconnecting because yeah, we got to reconnect more. Okay, Kitty says, in the dream I was sitting in my room, then I heard this young girl sort of go away. Then I woke up and still heard it. Huh. Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good. I just had a thought. I don't know if you're open. I'm not saying anything, and you know, there's like no judgments or anything like that. Have you considered like therapy or counseling? Like, and I say that very like broadly, openly. You know, there's for anyone who's ever feels like there's like this negative stigma, it's not like people in general, I think, should go to counseling and therapy. You know, just even for like small little things. But it sounds like finding a good therapist or counselor may support you with you know, sleeping better and things like that. No, I don't. You know, again, I don't think you're crazy. It's, again, these are just general suggestions, and even for myself, you know, like, do I think I'm crazy? No. Would I be open to seeing a therapist or a counselor? Yes, I would be open, because we're always, as human beings, we're always going through things. We're always, yeah. So I'm just offering a suggestion. It's up to you, but I, yeah. Why do I? I'm not a licensed therapist, so yeah, that doesn't work. Why do I suggest that? Because I think I'm hearing you say these are some of the challenges you're going through, and if I were in your position, I would want to as well. You know, that's me. Everyone does things differently, so it's up to you. It's up to each individual. And again, there's no, for anyone out there who feels like I want to get rid of the negative stigma of like, psychologists and therapists and counselors and was it psychiatrists. Like these things are just, I think we need to open up space for like mental health. Like it's perfectly okay. It's perfectly okay to seek support, life coaching, like any of this stuff. It's whatever helps us improve our mental state. It doesn't matter where we are. Like we all can use support. Okay. All right. With that being said, thanks people for the engagement, and hopefully this was supportive to you in some way. I look forward to seeing you, Jesse, and Sean pretty soon, in a few weeks. Yep. John, good to see you on. Kitty, same as you. And let's see. Dweeb and Jacinta, like anyone else, sorry if I'm missing you. Like, thanks for hopping on and engaging. Y'all make this awesome as always, so appreciate that. Let's see. Kitty says, please forgive me and accept me. Yes, of course. You are forgiven and you are accepted. Let's see. Do you need mental support? That's for you to do. That is for you to determine, not myself. Ask yourself that question. Yeah, that's all. I think that's what I have to say. All right. Dweeb. All right. Take care. If you got questions, feel free to shoot me an email, peoples. Yeah. All right. You know where to find me, richard@richardco.com. I'll be on tomorrow. Yes, I'll be on tomorrow. So, yes. I'll see you then. Have a good night, everyone. Remember to no electronics for 30 minutes before you go to sleep. So you could, get your brain ready and download Headspace or other meditation apps and stuff like that. Learn Calm. Okay. Good night. I'll see you tomorrow. Woo.